Owning your own business or being an entrepreneur is not easy. I can say this from experience. We see a lot of people who get on TV, but really on these internet streets, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, sit there and tell you how they made so much money in a matter of months, weeks, months, a year or two. And now they're going to show you how to do it just by the course. And then you have guys like, shout out to Pocket Watching with JT. He'll do deep dives into these quote unquote infomercials and show y'all that it really does not work that way. What happens is these people have made money or they may not have made money. And they get on the internet, claim that they have made so much money, they're going to show you how to do it. Just buy the course. And the course is where they make the money. Now, is nothing wrong with selling courses, buying courses if it's going to help you, right? I mean, we all got to learn somehow. It's good that if somebody has an inside track on how to be successful in anything you do, it's good to watch a video, good to take a class. Education is the key to everything. But this business thing, it is not easy. I saw a lady on Facebook the other day. She's opening up a bakery here in town I live in. You look at her Instagram, Facebook page. They got the keys a few months ago. Now they finally finna open it. And this lady, when you look at her back stories, her back uh, posts and stuff, you see where she has been working at a certain company. I don't want to say the name, but basically working in a bakery for like the last 12 to 15 years. I think about 12 years almost. Yeah, 12 to 15 years. She worked at this bakery and she finally quit not too long ago. But you see pictures of the cake she's made, the pastry she's made, soup, salads, sandwiches, whole lot of things that she has made. Some things, some creations, and looks great. But anyway, she has years of experience, and finally, she's opening up her bakery. You know, finally doing her lifelong dream, I guess, of having her own shop after working for like a retail place, working in the bakery department. But anyway, it's not easy. I mean, shoot, I've been doing, let's say, like notaries, where like loan signings. Been doing it for 6, 7, 8 years, and over time, the money that's coming in has gotten less and less. When I first started, I was able to get direct contact with title companies. They would call me directly. I can make $120 per signing. May take anywhere from maybe an hour or so to get all the paperwork done. Maybe 3 hours total, do everything, making like 120, $120 per signing. Easy as time went on, and innovation and things got better. Uh, the market got saturated. The money you make was less. Let's just say that. They send you jobs and you're talking about paying you 75, 60, $40. It's like, no, it's not even worth it. So pretty much I got out the business. I also got the Marlon Morales website I tell y'all about, you know, them my videos. Like I say, you can click on marlonmorales.com or click on the shop below this video and to see our products. Been doing that for some years, off and on, trying to tweak it here and there. Went forward, go backwards. It's not easy. Got to spend the money to market. Got the products. Got to get out there and sell. It's just not easy. YouTube channel, been doing a YouTube channel for years. Did it, started years ago. Then had to go back to school, get my license, then start my new career outside the YouTube space. So kind of went away from the videos. And even now, it's kind of hard to do videos every day, but it's getting better and better. I'm trying to upgrade the channel. As y'all can see, I'm trying to get like better equipment. I'm able to like share videos now. It's a process. It is not easy. It can take years for you to become successful. Well, anyway, I said to segue this. So Kevin O'Leary, one of the investors on Shark Tank, everyone knows the guy. He recently told a story about a class that he was teaching years ago and a decision he told one of his students to make when it was between his job, his business and his fiance. But let's take a look at it, okay? And then I didn't want to play the. I guess at first I didn't want to go play the whole thing, but it's only like 4 minutes long, so we can watch it and then kind of comment until we get to that point.
I tell people, if you're going to take this road, there's a huge sacrifice that people don't think about. Most people think, oh, I'm going to start a company. 2 months later, it's going to be worth $1 billion, and I'm going to make a fortune. That is actually not what happens to 99% of people. 8 out of 10 fail. They have to do it 3 times. They spend a decade before they get their hit, or they work at one company for 15 years, and they finally.
So it's like the lady I said with the bake shop. She worked there for 12 years. That's why I got the 15 years from him. Yeah, she worked there for 12 years and then finally, quit the corporate job she had, and now she's opening up her own bakery. And like you said, most of the people fail at business. It takes a long time for your business to pop. Every now and then somebody pop pretty quick. That's why like you see these stories online talking about my side hustle. I spent $50 on my side hustle. Now I make 50,000 every month. It's like there's too many stories like that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't happen as often as people want you to believe.
Get an exit. It's more like that, and the personal sacrifice is huge. There is no soccer game on Saturday. There's no Sunday dinner with the family. You're working because some guy in China or in India or some woman out there is kicking your ass.
Yep. And that's the thing. There is like no time for this. Even for people in the corporate America who have a job, who's trying to do things, trying to build for the future. When you really get to the point where you see how the world works economically, and I mean by like inflation, taxes, the price of living, the price of raising children, trying to get retirement, or trying to get a nest egg for when you get older. Because retirement, I know they talk about people should be able to retire after a few years, after a certain amount of years, but I personally have got to the point where I believe people are not supposed to retire. Now, if you got certain jobs, yeah, you need to get out of it and find something else to do to occupy your time, because a body that stands still and don't learn or don't stay active, it dies a lot quicker than somebody who's continually doing something. But yeah, like you said, this it's not easy.
Because we're in a global competition now. And so I don't care what your business is, men, women, you have to understand that you're going into a huge.
And the point I'm trying to make is when you work in your own business, you work more hours than you do working in corporate America to get it jumping off. Period.
Huge lifestyle change. And I tell people it's not for everybody.
It's
Don't do
not.
it if you don't have the stamina to get kicked around and driven into the ground and get up and do it again and beaten up by people that tell you this is not kumbaya stuff. This is hardcore stuff. And I meet many entrepreneurs that are in tears saying, I can't go on. I haven't seen, you know, my significant other in 2 weeks. It happened to me in a class.
Here we go. This is the part I
I mean,
want to get to.
I'm not sure how you're going to take this story, but I'm going to tell it to you anyways, okay?
Real quick, let me say something. One example I always give is Jerry Jones. I remember Jerry Jones told a story, and I said years ago, if he came out with a book, I'd buy it and probably read it in a couple of days. And now I see that I think it's Netflix is coming out with a documentary on his life, because I'm intrigued about his his business sense. Because football wise, may not be too smart, but business wise, that man is a genius because he sacrificed it. He bought the Cowboys for a few $100 million, and now it's like the most valued team in the world at like $10 billion right now, and they ain't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. Oh my gosh, I hate to say that. But anyway, ain't won a Super Bowl in about 30 years. I remember he told a story about he bought the Cowboys and he bought it on credit. I don't know how that side of the money works, because like even the guy was a Jerry Buss bought the Lakers. They did a deal, but he didn't have the money, so it's like, okay, we're gonna buy it, and then you just got to pay us over time. I think probably the same thing happened with the Cowboys. He bought them credit, or had to pay the owners or the NFL, whoever, over a period of time. He was saying how Went to the department store. Wife wanted to buy something, and they took his credit card, his department store card, and cut it up right there in his face. He had no money. He was broke, but his family stood by him and behind him. They said, "This is what you want to do." And he told them, "Hey, we're finna do this. We got to go all in. Got to make sacrifices, but in the end, it's going to work it. When if you have a family and you're in business, your family has to be on board with you because there are sacrifices that are going to be made that could put y'all in dire positions." And I'll tell you about another here. Let's let going to just play first.
End of a class, 9 at night, 600 people. There's a fellow up at the top, puts up his hand and say, "Mr. O'Leary, look, I have to ask you a question. I haven't said anything all class, but I'm really hurting. Can you help me?" And I said, "What's your problem?" Class goes dead silent because it's not going to be about business. And he said, "Today, my fiance came to me and said that I have to make a decision between our relationship and the business." And I said, "Oh, I'm not Dr. Phil here, but let's hear it." This guy had in his dorm room in undergrad engineering built an online cloud-based compliance tool for hedge funds with under 250 million to help them reduce their costs. It's a subscription service. The guy had a run rate of $5 million. He hadn't even graduated yet. I'm licking my chops at this business. This is fantastic. And then he said, "But I have no time. And I never see my fiancée. And she wants me to come be with the family on Sundays just once. But I'm doing my compliance downloads on Sundays and I have to deal with my customers because I got to be back in class at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday." Now the class is looking at me saying, "Okay, big guy, what's the answer?" I said, "Everybody, let's be pragmatic. Which is easier to replace? Your business or your fiancé?" And the shit hit the fan with that. But let me ask you something. Clearly, that match was not right because if you're going to get into a relationship with an entrepreneur, man or woman, it doesn't matter. You have to understand what drives them. It's not going to be a successful union. It's not going to work. I think he made the right decision.
It's interesting that he said because he had to get to class at 8 a.m. I'm
And that's what she
thinking,
said.
if he already has built this business, why does he need to be in school?
Because he wanted to finish and get his ring. And engineers in their fourth year want the ring.
Okay.
They have.
Now, I know there are going to be some women who say he making all that money, like she said. If he's making that money, then he can just go ahead and quit and just work his job full time, the way he can make time for his fiance. Well, just look at both sides. One, like he said, the guy wants the ring. It's kind of like when you see a lot of women, see a lot of, especially like, I mean, from the, I'm a freedman, so a lot of freedmen women, they got degrees, got a good job, making good money, but they want to go back to school. I know freedmen women who got 3, 4, 5 degrees for what? I don't know, getting in debt, but just to say they got a master's, a bachelor's, a master's, a doctorate's, practitioner, what have you, and not really making a whole lot more money than they would have made if they were stuck with the associate's or the bachelor's degree, or even the master's degree. But you're more in college, you're more in debt, right? But y'all want the degrees. Well, like he said, this guy wants his ring. I mean, you went to school that long. He want to go ahead and finish. Makes a lot of it makes a lot of sense. But like Mr. O'Leary saying, that match just wasn't matching. That union was just not a match. And unfortunately, I mean, that's how life works. Sometimes you get with people and y'all just don't click because this man has aspirations to be a business owner, make a lot of money, be successful, so he can make a lot of money. So he knows in the future, which is what his fiance is not looking at, and she's young. I ain't gonna say it'd be different, but I could more understand if she was in her 40s or 50s or what have you, and he's doing this, and she's like, "Oh, I'm getting older, and I'm getting no younger, and we don't see each other and I don't like this and blah, 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 whatever. And either choose your business or choose me. But like Mr. O'Leary, I'd be like, shoot, you would have to choose the business. Because, like you said, your people have to be, excuse me, your people have to be on board with you. 100%. Understand the sacrifices. Again, he's looking at the future. She is not. She's looking at the here and now, probably hearing from her mama and her sisters and her aunts, like, where your man at? Why he is never here? Man, I don't know if this is going to be a good relationship. You see, my husband is here, with his bad hip and bad knees and working his job for 20, 30 years, and he's half dead, got asbestos poisoning, but he's here. Your aunt is here. Her baby dad's ain't here. All her men left because they chose their business, their jobs over her, and so she couldn't take it no more. But they're not seeing the future that what he does now. And again, he said the guy's in his fourth year, so he's about to graduate. Once he graduates and his business is already established, you got all the time in the world. I ain't gonna say all the time in the world, but you'll have more time to where y'all can be together, where he can delegate responsibilities, hire more employees so he had to do less work. This is just the beginning of his business, where he has to put all the work in to make sure everything is going 100%, going like it needs to go before he, cast off jobs to other people so he can, don't say minimize the work that he needs to do. So anytime he goes to work, most of the time it'd be that he needs to be there, and other times just that because he wants to be there. Right, but right now he just needs to be there, and she's not understanding. She's young, she's immature, she's listening to immature people who don't understand the process, and so she's going to mess around if he had to choose between her and his business. $5 million, she got to go. There's no because there ain't too many people making that. Not 1% of the people making money like that. She got to go, player. So I can understand what Mr. O'Leary is saying right here in this video here. Let's see if there's a little bit more at the end, and we'll finish it up.
Work like there must be some engineers in this room. They know what that's about. That puts you into a cult for the rest of your life. You don't leave without the ring. Like that's not going to happen. Not in your fourth year. And I get it now because I work with a lot of engineers. But I remember that, and it stuck in my mind. And I think we really debated that about relationships and how important it is for your partner to understand the journey you're in.
Yep, got to understand it, and that's a big key. You got to be on the same way, and there ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Like I said, I mean, y'all just may not be meant to be. And the thing about it is, he said what in a class of 600 people, so I'm quite sure there was plenty of women there. So he could go ahead and drop his fiance, quote unquote fiance, move on. She can move on. They can cry about it, but he ain't gonna change his ways because if he's smart, I'm quite sure there are plenty of women in that class who would have no problem dating and being his fiance and getting that wedding ring in a couple of years. No problem doing that. And most women wouldn't. But the thing about it is how people say, a lot of guys, men say women don't know what they want because one day they say they want this, and then tomorrow they want that. They want the money. He making $5 million. I'm sure he buying her whatever she wants. She want to go on trips, paying for it. Like I said, anything she needs, she probably needs for nothing. Her family probably needs for nothing. But as a natural progression, she just wants time, which is understandable. She's a woman, she wants time. But as the saying goes, you understood this when you got in this. You knew what it was when you signed up for it. So now don't try to change the rules in the middle of the game because we're not finna do that. We're gonna keep this going. It's kind of like, well, let's say like now if he did something like Judge Mathis and you got this high profile career making a lot of money, but then you promise your wife, and then y'all been together for decades, kids are grown, and you promise your wife that we're gonna make this move over here to a whole nother town so that way we can spend more time together, and then you still doing the same things that you were doing before, you didn't live up to your promise. I can understand that. But on this, nah, like I said, they still babies and she not really understanding. So let's see, what else? Let me see. There's another little part. Because he told the story a couple of times and he says, she's not the right person if she's not supportive of this journey you're on. You're obviously going to be a wild success. You're going to get somebody else. So Larry added, he said, his advice sparked a debate and so on and so forth. I know, speaking of sacrifice, this is my last story. I knew a family who started a business out their home. I mean, they already, they had jobs in corporate America pretty much. And they want to start a business in their home. Lucrative business once it gets off the ground, but at first they had to make sacrifices. They had to, in the beginning, they were living out their garage. They still had kids in grade school, like maybe one or two in grade school. Uh, Grandkids come over all the time. They had to renovate their house and they had to live in the garage for a while. Struggling to get first clients. Even when they got a client or two, still were struggling. They got behind on bills, got behind on car notes, had hiding cars for a little while, for a couple of months. And then the business started booming. They started getting clients, and they started getting so many clients to where they had to reject some. Then they started getting more houses so where they can take on more clients and so on and so forth. And it kept growing till, the money started flowing. So then they got businesses where they can delegate the jobs and some of the tasks to other family members who are making real good money. You know what I'm saying? Making real good money. But in the beginning, they worked together to build this business and they worked long hours, sundown to sundown, 24 hours every waking moment, handling the business. Still kind of do it to this day, but it had to be a joint effort. The family had to be involved and had to be on board to make sure that the business took off, knew the sacrifice, understood the sacrifice, did it. And so, for the most part, business wise, it all worked out. So, basically, that's how business goes, entrepreneurship goes. You get to do that because people always talk about start your own business. So, you got to work for the man no more. Well, a lot of times, depending on what you're trying to do, you be working for the man for a long time because your business is not going to take off. I know people who will have food trucks and still work corporate America. I know people who sell candles and soap, and still got corporate business, and but trying to get their business off the ground, and they've been doing it for years. I mean, that's how it goes. Then eventually, you can get your big break. Hopefully, it can happen, but it's not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. So just understand that. Just understand that. But anyway, tell me what you think about the story. Leave your comments below and share it with the world. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those four things cost you nothing but maybe a couple minutes out your day, but it means everything to us over here. Don't forget marlonmorale.com. That's marlonmorale.com. 10% off your first purchase. Or you can go below the screen, hit the shop button, find our products there too. You won't be disappointed. With that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.